Part 359. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 3581. Xiao Xiaotian straightened his back, and the gleam in his eyes became more and more bright as he spoke. This posture is in place, giving people a comprehensive sense of oppression in consciousness. The commander-in-chief is right. The supervisor is shameless. The commander-in-chief is right. The supervisor is shameless. The commander-in-chief is not wrong, but the supervisor is shameless. Suddenly, a group of city guard generals in the hall began to stand up, and then said in unison. For a time, the momentum was majestic. Obviously, these people showed their posture through these words. These words are fully displayed in place, and they are simply not too real. As for the others, there is no need to say more. Hearing these words, City Lord Cao Teng's expression became increasingly ugly. Proud warriors. Great achievements. The generals of these city guards may only have him as the commander Xiao Xiaotian in their hearts, but not him as the city lord. If things go on like this, can this army still be able to use its arms like a finger? In the future, if Xiao Fanyi seems to be divorced from him, wouldn't he be able to take away the army of Guangming God City casually? This is not a good sign. The situation is very complicated. A little carelessness will involve many things. Call. The city lord Cao Teng licked his lips, thinking to himself that he was already making a comprehensive plan. Now if Xiao Xiaotian is severely punished, I am afraid that these generals will feel unhappy in their hearts, and I am afraid that they will not obey their orders at that time. As for Caog, mud can't support a wall. How long has he been the inspector of the city guards? He has no prestige at all, he is simply a waste. The city lord Cao Teng thought to himself, and then felt extremely dissatisfied. Such a rubbish thing, the more I think about it, the more irritable I feel. How to play the next situation is actually the most important thing. Tisk, it turns out that the Lord Cao Teng has arrived. What? Did City Lord Cao Teng just come here to ask for a crime? Is it because we didn't go out to meet him? City Master Cao Teng, is it possible that he still takes offense at these vulgar rituals? The matter between Commander Xiaohe and Caog, we all see it in our eyes. It is probably because Caog has your backing, so he dares to speak nonsense in front of Commander Xiaohe. I feel very angry when I hear those swear words, let alone Commander Xiaohe. I think Commander Xiaohe is already very restrained. If not, that supervisor Caog would be a dead body by now. So, what else is there to say? If City Lord Cao Teng wants to expel Commander Xiaohe, the door of my Guangming Academy will always be open to Commander Xiaohe. As long as Commander Xiaohe is willing to come to my Guangming Academy, I will be the Commander Xiaohe as the Deputy Palace Master. The eyes of Shui Wanren, Deputy Head of the Guangming Academy, brightened, and the smile on his face increased as he spoke. If you can take the opportunity to deprive Guangming Academy of some top experts, that would naturally be a great thing. The corner of the city lord Cao Teng's mouth twitched subconsciously. Now he feels a feeling of being slapped in the face. This face is slapping, it's about to be swollen. Hateful. Hateful. Is someone going to come up and disgust him? He only let the city guards go out to fight for a few days, how did it become like this? His own city guard commander has become a favorite in the eyes of others. Call. The city lord Cao Teng couldn't help clenching his fists, the anger in his heart could not be expressed in words. But at this moment, he can only hold back. No waves, no waves. Comprehensive, collapse mentality. If he was furious at this moment, wouldn't he have fallen into the tricks of others? At that time, his image as the city lord will be destroyed. Father! Look, they've all started to collude. What kind of commander is this? This one has already found a home. Hurry up, don't want this kind of slave with 3 surnames. Direct expulsion. Snapped. A loud slap sounded, and before the young city lord CAO man could finish his words, a big mouth was slapped on his face. For a moment, he was a little confused, and then he looked at all this ignorantly, and his breathing became much more rapid. Aren't we, father and son, reconciled? Didn't you promise not to slap me casually in the future? Now what's going on? Ah! Hit me so casually. Young city lord CAO man felt particularly angry and dissatisfied. What are you doing? Aren't I telling the truth? Can't you tell the truth? Isn't that what happened? CAO man, the young city lord, muttered, looking aggrieved. Clap clap clap. What greeted him was the city lord Cao Teng's big mouth. Roll. You know what? How dare you judge Commander Xiahe indiscriminately here? Commander Xiahe is absolutely loyal to the Temple of the Alliance of Light. The city guards are also well-intentioned and comprehensively trained. If the city guard army hadn't been trained by Commander Xiahe, how could it be possible to have such combat strength and scale? As for going out to meet those who don't, what's the point? How can a man be so rigid about what he has or doesn't have? Commander Xiahe, look at you being wronged. Hey, it's because I didn't handle it well enough. Everything is my fault. Commander Xiahe must not have any grudges. This position of great commander will always be yours, and there is absolutely no way anyone can snatch it from you. The city lord Cao Ten nodded, and his eyes couldn't help but look more friendly as he spoke. I just somehow feel that this guy is a bit hypocritical. This. So, thank you, city master, for your body. Xiahe Xiaotian raised his eyebrows, even he was a little surprised. The city lord has always been nepotism, why did he suddenly become like this time? Seeing that the city lord Cao Ten treated Xiahe Xiaotian so well, Caog, the inspector of the city guard army, was immediately stunned. Is my arm broken in vain? Good guy, no one cares about me? You guys are still here yelling about these things, making it seem like I'm an outsider. Caog felt wronged. All he cared about was to protect the face of the city lord, but in the end he found that he seemed to be a clown. This heart shattered in an instant. Master City Lord. You have to make the decision for me. My lord, clan brother, I was bullied. My arm was broken for you. Shouldn't you say something? Master City Lord. Clan brother. Caog's voice gradually became hoarse, and at this moment, he felt endless resentment gathering in his chest, and the more he thought about it, the more wronged he felt in his heart. This matter must not just pass by like this. He wants justice for himself. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3582. Snort. Isn't that your own fault? You're still crying here. What's there to cry about? Commander Xiahe spared your life for my sake, what grievance do you have to restrain yourself? Shut up. The city lord Cao Teng snorted coldly, his posture was extremely surging. At this moment, he must show a certain attitude, otherwise he will really lose his heart. No matter how angry and resentful he was, he still had to hold back at this moment. At least we have to wait until the general power is firmly in our hands. Others are not there, don't care at all. Hold on. Stabilization is necessary. After all, after so many years of honing in the Temple of the Alliance of Light, there is always something in the city. I call. At this moment, Caog, the inspector of the city guard army, could only feel 2 lines of hot tears streaming down his face, but he didn't know how to express the indignation in his heart. The extreme explosive feeling is about to invade his heart, making him painful and desperate. Hateful. All this hateful thing. It must be completely terminated. The city lord obviously won't stand up for him. Even if his arm is broken in vain. Full of enthusiasm and blood in vain. Loyalty, feed the dog. What city lord? What clan brother? It's all bullshit. The more he thought about it, the more sullen Caog felt. Die. There should be no place to die. The thoughts gathered together and burst out completely. Such a gesture makes people cry silently. Uncle G, let's get up. You are the hero of my CAO family. If I succeed to the throne in the future, I will definitely not treat you badly. The old man's brain is not very good, but I can see clearly. The young city lord CAO man stepped forward, bowed to help CAOG up, and started to buy people's hearts. Just listening to these words, there is an inexplicably extreme twitching feeling. A sense of bells and whistles, fully superimposed. I wanted to say something, but couldn't put it into words. Like a stick in the throat, don't spit out fast. Ah. Yes, yes. Thank you, young city master. Caog's heart trembled, his heart belonged, and he was full of tears. Finally someone paid attention to him. This dandy young city lord whom he looked down on at all before actually gave him a special kind of care. Thinking so far, his eyes gradually became ethereal. Cao Tang, the city lord at the side, was full of joy when he saw that his son had learned how to buy people's hearts, but when he heard his son swearing at him as an old thing, his heart suddenly thumped again. Damn it! That's it? It's nothing but fancy stuff. Unable to stabilize, full thrust. This mentality has completely collapsed. I wanted to say something, but I couldn't say it. The atmosphere in the hall is more or less awkward. Fang Fan didn't stand up from the beginning to the end, lying drunk on the lap of a beautiful woman, eating meat and drinking, enjoying himself. The whole body gathered in it, and the whole person slowly became numb. Comfortable. This taste is full of joy. Why? No fight. Pity. I thought I could still watch a wave of drama. Bai Piao's eyeballs rolled around, and he looked like he didn't think it was a big deal to watch the excitement. While talking, his eyes couldn't help flickering all over, and he looked quite excited. This time, the more I look at it, the more I have a different feeling. Unfortunately, nothing happened. Stop watching the excitement. It should be time to set off for Yuanqi God City in a while. Taking advantage of this opportunity, eat more dragon meat and drink more wine. When we arrive at Yuanqi God City, we will have another bloody battle. When Fang Fan said this, he couldn't help stretching again, it felt so comfortable. In fact, Fang Fan is not bored with the war gods and the bloody gods, and even, has some excitement. Protoss, the target is the small treasury. Fragments of the divine stone are quite precious. Thinking of this, Fang Fan looked at Bai Piao again. How was the harvest in the previous battle? How many fragments of the god stone? How many springs of life? For the spring of life, look for opportunities to exchange it for star cores or god stone fragments. These are the hard currency. Fang Fan asked directly, and at the same time, he couldn't help but have some other thoughts in his heart. He thought, if given the chance, he would still like to continue to promote a legion to the low-level Saint Venerable. Now, among the top 10 legions under his command, only the God-extinguishing artillery corps is in the low-level Saint realm, and the rest are all 8-star peak Saint realm. With the further deterioration of the battle situation, when fighting against the Protoss army, the ordinary Sanctuary Realm Legion seems to be a little unsure. If you want to stabilize the overall situation, you still have to look at the Legion of the Saint Realm. For it. This. You suddenly ask this. Could it be that you are still afraid that I will be corrupt? Bai Biao suddenly became unhappy, rolled his eyes, and said aggressively. Fang Fan nodded, and then nodded in agreement. Bai Biao. Good guy. That's it? This. Where is the trust between people? You are so flamboyant. How can it be like this? It's driving me crazy. Bai Biao raised her eyebrows, the corners of her mouth twitched, and her breathing couldn't help but become rapid. The bells and whistles here are being fully superimposed. If you can't stand still, you're nothing. If you can't hold on, your mentality will collapse. In fact, to put it bluntly, Bai Biao just couldn't bear to part with those godstone fragments in his hand. It's all in the pocket, and it's so embarrassing to take it out. Shut up. Hurry up and report the number, I am useful. Fang Fan and Chen Yingzhi said directly. Why? I knew it, it's not hot. It's too difficult for me. Shards of the divine stone. Probably, there are probably more than 1,300 pieces. The quality of the Protoss killed this time is relatively high, many of them are in the holy state, and they basically have fragments of the God Stone in their hands. There are more than 300 fragments of divine stones in the storage ring of one of the cultivators of the Supreme Saint Realm Protoss. Why? As for the Spring of Life, there are even more, there are almost tens of thousands of bottles. Although this Spring of Life is a sacred product for healing, but there are too many of them now, the market price is estimated to only sell for a bottle of 1,000 high-grade star cores. These are worth about 1,000 God Stone fragments, or 10 million high-grade star cores. But the Spring of Life can't get out of this ghostly place, and I have to find Zhao Wei's father to deal with it after I'm safe. Bai Biao calculated carefully, then said. Fang Fan nodded, the number is about the same. When it comes to major matters, Bai Biao has always been unambiguous. From this point of view, the benefits of this battle are indeed good. Fang Fan had already extracted more than 1,000 fragments of divine stones from the storage ring of the weak demigod and strong Protoss before, and now there are more than 1,000 fragments of divine stones scattered here and there. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3583. If these are added together, even if it is only the fragments of the sacred stone, there are more than 2,000. The total value is more than 20 million high-grade star cores. By the way, Fang Fan, how many pieces of the God Stone do you want? You won't take it all away. I'm the logistics officer, you have to leave some for me at the bottom of the box. Bai Biao gritted her teeth, and while speaking, the corners of her mouth twitched. I won't take it all, don't worry. Isn't there more than 1,300 fragments of the sacred stone? Just give me 1,300. Fang Fan nodded and said calmly. Bai Biao. Good guy, can you still play like this? What's the difference between you and Quana? How shameless and despicable. How could there be such a person in the world? Bai Biao went numb for an instant. Then they talked a lot, but Fang Fan didn't let go. You are a big eater. A bottomless pit. Hey, I can't get enough to eat. You are so despicable to the extreme. Even my boss copied it for me. Is it easy for me to save this point? Difficult, I am too difficult. Bai Biao's thoughts started again, Fang Fan didn't care at all. Your skin is your skin, I only treat you as melon skin. Fang Fan thought, and promoted another legion to the Holy Realm. Right now, it seems that there is still a way for the generals to be promoted to the low-level Saint Venerable Realm. But at the back, the claws are numb in an instant. Does it cost hundreds of millions of high-grade star cores for a low-level Holy Venerable army to be promoted to a middle-level Holy Venerable? This Astronomical figures. It takes too much star core to raise an army. Fang Fan couldn't help but sigh with emotion. He didn't know what to do. Seeing Bai Piao reluctantly handing over the fragments of the divine stone, Fang Fan nodded silently. Now he has to think about which legion he will be promoted to. 8-star Peak Sanctuary Realm Blood Shura Legion. 8-star Peak Sanctuary Realm Yellow Turban Sanctuary Warlock Legion. 8-star Peak Sanctuary Realm Gothic Sanctuary Sharpshooter Legion. 8-star Peak Sanctuary Realm Sanctuary Silver Dragon Knight Legion. 8-star Peak Sanctuary Realm Seraphim Legion. 8-star Peak Sanctuary Realm God-Killing Demon Army. 8-star Peak Sanctuary Realm Ruling Unicorn Holy Beast Army. The 8-star Peak Sanctuary Realm Titan Warrior Legion. 8-star Peak Sanctuary Realm Heavenly Dragon Knight Legion. The last is the God-Extinguishing Artillery Corps of the low-level Saint Venerable Realm. The 9 8-star Peak Sanctuary level legions can only be said to have their own advantages and disadvantages. But it's hard to say which is the best thing to say. Fang Fan couldn't help brainstorming. These legions have followed themselves from the beginning. Along the way, each has its own characteristics. Accompanying Fang Fan across the mountains. Thinking of all of them this time, I also feel extremely melancholy. The true meaning is slowly revealed. Blood Azura Legion. Fang Fan murmured to himself, and at this moment his eyes suddenly shone brightly. The legion-specific skills of the Blood Shura Legion are quite unique. Fang Fan couldn't help but look at the Blood Shura Legion's exclusive skill Sura Unity. Sura Unity, under the leadership of the leader Rahua, 7 powerful Blood Shuras merged into King Shura. The combat power has been increased by 2 levels. The duration is 10 minutes, and the cooling time is 24 hours. There are no side effects. In times of crisis, the 7 Blood Shuras can become 1. Combat power instantly increased by 2 levels. If the Blood Shura Legion is promoted to the low-level Holy State, then at a critical moment, it can have an extra high-level Holy State combat power. The high-ranking saint is considered very strong at present. That being the case, choose to be promoted to the Blood Shura Legion. The pressure on the fragments of the Star Core Divine Stone is still very high. Fang Fan exhaled a turbid breath, thinking to himself, his eyes couldn't help flickering with a different kind of brilliance. The more you think about it, the more natural you feel. If you want to raise all the legions to the Holy State, don't even think about it if you don't have hundreds of millions of high-grade star cores. It will take tens of thousands of God Stone fragments. Alexander. I hope this trip to Yuanqi God City can achieve this goal. Yuanqi Shenzhen is adjacent to the territory of the Protoss, and the battlefield at that time should not be small. Otherwise, the forces of all parties will not rush towards that place crazily. Maybe there will be some special surprises then. Well, these soldiers of the Protoss are so rich, if they have the opportunity to enter the city of the Protoss and break through the treasury. Will the room be full of God Stone fragments by then? Dreams are still necessary, what if they come true? The corners of Fang Fan's mouth raised slightly, and with this in mind, the smile on his face gradually increased. Husband, you smile so obscenely. You're not thinking about something nasty again, are you? You also said that you didn't like these dancers. Look, you look like you're going to have a hard time. Xiao Liulai took a piece of dragon meat with a knife and fork and wanted to deliver it to Fang Fan's mouth. Seeing Fang Fan's state at this moment, she couldn't help mumbling aside. Anyway, I don't like it in my heart. The other women immediately followed to do things. Anyway, it is so true. Fang Fan smiled wryly. Is it not even allowed to wander around the sky now? Brain supplements really need to be moderate. Thinking too much, taking too much time. Don't think too much. Help me call the Blood Shura Legion over. Fang Fan waved his hand, then warned. Soon, the 7 Blood Shuras arrived. What is the Lord's order? Luohu snorted and said, this is a serious guy. At this moment, I suddenly received Fang Fan's summons, and my heart felt inexplicably. Because when they were summoned alone before, the Lord gave them great benefits. Will it be like this time? Luo Hu took a deep breath, and his thoughts rushed all over. Thinking more and more. Later, I will improve your cultivation. Keep quiet. Fang Fan said a few words casually, and then his mind moved slightly. Choose to be promoted to the 8-star Peak Sanctuary Realm Blood Shura Legion. Ding. Consumed 13 million high-grade star cores / 1300 god stone fragments and successfully purchased 13 million holy level exclusive promotion cards, and the 8-star Peak Sanctuary level Blood Shura army was successfully promoted to a low-level holy realm. With a bang, more than 1,000 fragments of the divine stone disappeared. It is very difficult to collect the fragments of the God Stone, but it is an instant thing to spend. In the blink of an eye, the 7 blood shuras underwent some slight changes. For example, the blood robe on his body looks even more bright red. The Azura knife is also bigger than before. In addition, it can be clearly perceived that their momentum has undergone an obvious change. Why do I suddenly feel cold? The baleful aura on these dear friends has suddenly become stronger. Divine System of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 3584. Goisha raised his eyebrows, then said subconsciously. I also have this feeling. These blood-robed brothers seem to have become too strong. Brother Fang Fan, could it be that you have mastered a method that can instantly improve one's cultivation? This. Gudong. Zhuoqiu Yao's eyes lit up. This is a good opportunity. If there is a chance, who wants to practice boringly every day? Those who say that they have to accumulate a lot of money, in fact, they have no choice but to choose the path. In other words, if you have the opportunity to upgrade to level 999 with a single cut, you will still practice hard every day, and then upgrade to a level in 100 years? All chicken soup is essentially an encouragement. Kisha didn't think of this at first, but when he heard Zhuoqiu Yao say this, it seemed that he was still the same, and he immediately became excited. Cut. Stop thinking about it, you two. If Fang Fan really had this ability, wouldn't he have arranged for him a long time ago? It seems that his method can only be applied to his few legions. And every time it costs a lot of money. Hey, this kid cheated my star core and dared to do this. It's too difficult for me. So many star cores and god stone fragments, just disappeared. That's all I accumulated bit by bit. Bai Piao muttered, and couldn't help sighing from the side. He said, not bad. Relatively speaking, that's about it. Ah. So. That's really a pity. If you think about it, if you can take off at will, wouldn't the world be in chaos? I'd better practice hard. It doesn't make much sense to engage in these things. Zhuoqiu Yao sighed, what he was thinking was quite real. Thinking so far, the sharp light in the eyes flickered. After Bai Piao finished explaining, it was enough for Fang Fan to shrug his shoulders aside. Suddenly, Fang Fan felt that Chu Sisi beside him felt a little hot. I seem to be breaking through. While eating the dragon meat, Chu Sisi couldn't help but follow along. Eating meat and drinking alcohol can lead to promotion. His. President Chu was already a mid-level saint before, right? If you are promoted again, don't you have to step directly into the high-level saint realm? This is too strong. Is this the blessing after surviving the boundless thunder disaster? This disaster god inheritance is really terrifying. Goisha nodded, then commented from the side. When he spoke, he was inexplicably shocked. How are you doing? Or I'll send you out to break the steps. Why are you so hot? What's the situation? Fang Fan caressed Chu Sisi's exposed skin, and the temperature was getting higher and higher at this moment. When you touch it, it's like putting it in boiling water, it's extremely hot. I don't know either. I feel like there's an energy in my body that can't be dissipated. I'm hot, so hot. Chu Sisi suddenly grabbed Fang Fan's hand, and couldn't help rubbing Fang Fan's hand on her body. It seemed that her body could feel better in this way. Fang Fan opened his mouth, his expression was particularly complicated at the moment. Good guy. This allows him to say something. The whole person was directly hit and burned. There is nothing wrong with you doing this, but in front of so many people, is it really good? At this moment, the aura around him frantically began to gather, and then circled around Chu Sisi. The aura is almost liquid. At this moment, the changes in the situation here are naturally perceived by other people. In the entire hall, more and more people are focusing their attention on this place. At this moment, as long as you are a little bit knowledgeable, you can basically perceive that this is a sign of promotion. What a beautiful woman. Father, can you go propose marriage to me? Damn. She is so close to that Fang Fan. Damn. Damn. The young city lord Cao man was talking excitedly at first, but in an instant, his face suddenly became extremely ugly, and then he couldn't help but began to curse. Naturally a lot of anger grew in his heart. Can't help it? Want to explode. The flame was really about to be unstoppable, and it was about to leak out directly. Crazy thoughts gathered in his heart, and he almost spit out a mouthful of blood. Mentality, blood collapse on the spot. Roll. Don't make trouble for me. Otherwise, I will abandon you here, and don't even think about acting with the army. The city lord Cao Teng glared at his son, speechless. Haven't you humming suffered enough from women? Both arms were amputated before, and it was difficult to continue, so I still have to yell about these things here? What are the things in this brain? The point is, does this F***ck really have a brain? The city lord Cao Teng obviously has more things on his mind at the moment. This woman is a student of Guangming Academy. It's already a middle-level saintly realm, and it's about to be promoted again. Maybe it won't be long before it's a high-level saintly realm. This is just a student. There is a great chance of stepping into the demigod realm in the future. Bright Academy has really cultivated a lot of talents over the years. If this is the case, it will be even more impossible for me to control this Guangming Academy. Even the Pope may find it difficult to control. If that time really comes, this Guangming Academy will really grow bigger. This is not a good thing for the Temple of the Alliance of Light. The city lord Cao Teng narrowed his eyes, and couldn't help but have a lot of careful thoughts in his heart. Tisk. My apprentice daughter-in-law is also very good. Why? My apprentice is evil, and my apprentice's daughter-in-law is the same. That's the only way to match. Tai Shiji raised the corners of his mouth, and began to chatter again. For it. This evildoer belongs to evildoer, but it's not good to start making out in front of so many people. Young people nowadays are really informal. Wu Meiling, deputy head of the Guangming Academy, subconsciously felt a little blushing. While talking, she couldn't help turning her eyes away. Anyway, there are thousands of words condensed in my heart now, and from time to time, I have to glance at Tai Shiji. But anyone with a delicate mind can probably sense the intentions of the deputy palace master Wu Meiling. It's a pity that the current great uncle Ji puts all his heart and soul on his precious apprentice. As for this hint, he just ignores it. What kind of woman can have the fragrance of apprentices? It's an insult to the gentleman. It's an insult to the gentleman. This little bastard. Really are. Why? Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, opened his mouth and sighed silently. This Chu Sisi is his niece, as for concubine Xiang, that is his daughter. Now they are all clustered around Fang Fan. It doesn't matter if you crowd around, the key is that the movement is still so large. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3585. All the good things were taken by this kid. Damn it. Shui Wanren's face was numb. In front of the public, you guys, take it easy a little bit. It's indecent. In all aspects, if you can't control it, you will be completely cold. I can't help but have nothing to say. The whole person immediately became flustered. Now this situation is really embarrassing. What should be said and done seems to have been completely terminated. Fang Fan looked at Chu Sisi, who kept groping for him, with a complicated expression on his face. It's getting hotter. Dean Ji Lan, please find me a room, and I will accompany her into the broken steps. Fang Fan pondered for a while, and then he had no hesitation, walked forward directly, and then walked forward with Chu Sisi in his arms. Ah. Oh. Okay, okay. There's a room over there. Just around the corner. Ji Lan, the Dean of Tianwu Academy and also the Lord of Shencheng City of the 7th Academy, was taken aback for a moment, and then said hastily. In this situation, I really don't know what to say. I always feel that many words are followed by silence. Fang Fan carried Chu Sisi into the room, closed the door, and then heaved a sigh of relief. He just needed a quiet place, and then Fang Fan took Chu Sisi directly into the small world of Shushan Pavilion. If you are a little more unrestrained here, there is not much problem. Hot, hot, I'm hot. Husband. Chu Sisi's winking eyes were like silk, her lips trembled as she spoke, her whole body was in a state of bliss, she frantically scratched her body while speaking, as if relying on this method could make her feel better. Fang Fan has a complicated face. But it was indeed the first time Fang Fan had seen this situation. He exhaled a foul breath at this moment, thinking to himself, his expression looked particularly complicated. This time, what can I say? It seems that all the words are silent for a moment, and I don't know how to express this complicated mood. Fang Fan frowned, thinking to himself, thinking about how to deal with Fa Yingjin. Just as Fang Fan was thinking, Chu Sisi had already pounced on Fang Fan like a fierce tiger, and then began to scratch. I don't know how long it has passed, Fang Fan just feels that the temperature on his body is getting higher and higher. The whole body curled up, and even the exhalation was hot. This situation seems quite real. Grass. It's hot everywhere. It won't be burnt and scrapped. Fang Fan frowned, then stood up from the ground, feeling pain in his waist and back, and numb claws all over his body. I don't know how to express that feeling. This 5-star peak sanctuary? Didn't I just raise my cultivation level from a 4-star early stage sanctuary to a 5-star early stage sanctuary just because I collected all the bright light heart guards? This. Hiss. How did it become like this? Fang Fan frowned, his expression became more and more complicated at this moment. When I want to say something, my words are completely silent. This time, my mentality seems to be unable to express, and I seem to be very swaying. This day is just for promotion, isn't it? And this good thing? This. Fang Fan thought a lot, and his eyes gradually became calm. This time, his thoughts became more and more complicated. I don't seem to be doing anything. Fang Fan's eyes lit up. He suddenly didn't want to complain now. How he wished that Chu Sisi could come over and torment him again. Maybe he could raise his cultivation level to a 6-star sanctuary at once. Good things happen every year, especially this year. It's a surprise, isn't it? With such complicated feelings gathered in his heart, the smiles on Fang Fan's mouth grew more and more. Bashi, bashi. Comfortable. It's really comfortable. At this moment, Chu Ceci also had a fever. The temperature on the surface of the body also slowly returned to normal, and then he groaned softly, and then silently opened his eyes. In the eyes, a mess. Chu Ceci's face instantly turned red. She has memories of what happened before, but now she feels more and more numb. This. What expression should this make? It's complicated, it takes off, it explodes. Husband, are you all right? I shouldn't have tormented you, but I couldn't hold back. Are you in pain? I heard you call. It must be painful. Chu Ceci walked over with a worried face, and then stroked Fang Fan's body very gently, with a distressed face. Cough. It's actually nothing. If you have any special feelings, I can still cooperate. These problems are not big. Fang Fan's eyes gradually became brighter. The taste here is really strong only if you have experienced it. Ah. Chu Ceci was stunned subconsciously for a moment, she didn't quite understand it for a while. After a little aftertaste, I gradually understood the truth, and my face turned red immediately. You, what are you doing? Why are you humiliating me? Hum. I didn't do it on purpose. Who knew I couldn't control myself all of a sudden? It's your fault. Yes. It's all your fault. Who made you look like I like? It's all your face. Kill you. Kill you. Chu Ceci is usually the image of Yuji, but now she has completely become a soft girl. The powerless fist kept hitting Fang Fan's chest. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3586. The point is, it doesn't hurt at all. Fang Fan even enjoyed it directly. This taste is very comfortable. Slowly following the feelings, the whole person becomes smug. This time, the idea immediately boiled. It started with a blast, what else can I say? What a beautiful word. Very comfortable, I like it very much. Leisurely on the spot, the mind rises. Promoted. Fang Fan looked at Chu Ceci, then asked. A high-level Saint Venerable Realm. I didn't expect this promotion to be so difficult. Husband, do you think it will be so difficult for me to be promoted in the future? Chu Ceci frowned, then couldn't help but sighed softly, feeling more and more complicated in her heart. Forward. Difficult. How many days have passed since you were last promoted to the mid-level Saint Venerable Realm? And then promoted again. This is called difficult. So what do you do to those cultivators who have been trapped in this realm for millions of years and cannot be promoted? Wouldn't they be ashamed to death? In all aspects, it is true to grasp it. Be careful, don't make waves, one wave will destroy everything, then you can still play with a hammer, it's nothing. It may still be because the energy inherited from the god of disaster that you received in your body has not been exhausted, so it will show this state. If it was exhausted early, there might not be so many worries. But there's no need to think too much about it. It's better than anything else. In fact, if you can continue to promote, even if you get hot a few more times, it will be fine. Anyway, I've been by your side. As long as you need it, you can drive it anytime, anywhere. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, and while talking, there was an evil smile on the corner of his mouth. After a comprehensive calculation just now, perhaps, these are all true. The taste is quite good. With a little time consuming and sacrificing a little body, you can improve your cultivation by several levels, why not do it? Fang Fan directly broke through from the initial stage of the 5-star sanctuary to the peak of the 5-star sanctuary, which is equivalent to directly promoting 3 small levels. Fang Fan speculated that it was probably because Chu Ceci absorbed a little energy that overflowed during the promotion process, and then his cultivation base skyrocketed. Just a little bit of energy spilled out can raise Fang Fan by 3 levels. One can imagine how strong the energy inherited from the Calamity God is. For a moment, Fang Fan's eyes flickered involuntarily. It's interesting. Husband, you are so kind. Chu Ceci took the initiative to offer a kiss. This time, Fang Fan took the initiative. It is a joy to linger in the mountains and rivers. Fang Fan and Chu Ceci have been tossing around in the small world of Shushan Pavilion for about 10 hours, and more than an hour has passed outside. At this moment, in the main hall of the City Lord's mansion in the God City of Kiwan, although singing and dancing are still in progress, many people are not in the mood to continue eating and drinking. What happened just now seems to be flashing before my eyes. Why is there no movement at all? Are they sure they walked into this room? If this is promoted, there should be some movement. Now the surrounding aura has also dissipated. What's the situation? Is the promotion a success or a failure? If the promotion is successful, then come out. If you fail, you have to come out. A person who is in a hurry. Tai Shiji frowned, and couldn't help walking back and forth on the spot, with his hands in front of his body, flapping back and forth, appearing particularly anxious. Stop walking around. Aren't you complacent just now? I feel that my apprentice and daughter-in-law are very powerful, so why are you worrying so much now? Don't worry, nothing will happen. Wu Meiling, deputy head of Guangming Academy, rubbed her forehead, and advised from the side. Tai Shuja has been wandering here since half an hour. Shaking back and forth, I don't know why I'm shaking. Now slowly followed by numbness. That's it? Nothing. Why? You do not understand. I have to show 100-fold concern for my apprentice. Uncle G held his head high and held his chest high, speaking outrightly. Then let me ask you a question. If your apprentice and I both fell into the water, who would you save first? Wu Meiling bit her red lip and asked. Uncle G. Save the hammer. Can you still drown? Just climb out of the water by yourself. Tai Shiji said with a face of speechlessness. What the hell is this? Wu Meiling. I'm speechless. All the words seem to be silent. What you said really makes sense. What can I say after all the bells and whistles? It is true to be stable in mentality, and the others are all bells and whistles. Can't stand it, and there's no need to. Then I'll ask another question. If there is a very powerful ancient beast chasing me and your apprentice at the same time, who do you save first? Wu Meiling rolled her beautiful eyes and continued. Then of course save my apprentice. His cultivation level is far inferior to yours. You can still hold on under the paws of the ancient beast for a while, so it's not a big problem. Tai Shiji waved his hand, and then spoke out confidently. For him, this is not a problem. Just make it clear. As for the other ones that are there or not, just be steady. Straight man of steel, you must maintain your posture. Wu Meiling. Wu Meiling, deputy head of the Guangming Academy, bit her red lips, her chest trembling with anger at this moment. She is not really vicious, she just wants to let Tai Shuja express her heart, and then she can express her heart along the way. In this way, isn't everything going smoothly? But what are you doing now? Boo 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 to the end, nothing. I'm also very anxious. Others, some or none, were completely terminated. Liang Jiaoguang is fully practicing to the end. You can do it. You can really do it. Uncle G. I can see you clearly. You're a bastard. Wu Meiling couldn't help cursing secretly. Uncle G. This woman. Nervous. Why did it happen all of a sudden? Didn't we have a good chat just now? Suddenly it exploded. Good guy. What the hell is this? I don't know anything. Why? I don't know what's going on with Ceci now, and that bastard Fang Fan doesn't dare to go in and check, in case they disturb their affairs. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, frowned, thinking to himself at this moment. His expression looked particularly complicated, and his heart gradually became restless. How to act next is the most important thing. A sense of complexity gathers in my heart. One is his niece, and the other is his future son-in-law, so I have to worry. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3587. As for the concubine Xiang and other women, I feel even more worried and anxious. I'm afraid there will be some surprises. If so, it's really complicated. How to deal with yourself next is the key of the key. Gradually, the whole person became numb. Hey! What do you have to worry about here? It's nothing. What happened? Do you really think I don't know? Fang Fan is not a good guy. 99% of them are drunk and passed out in the beauty's nest now. Hey, I really don't know what you have to worry about here. That's not a problem at all. It's impossible for Fang Fan to have an accident, so it's impossible for Chu Ceci to have an accident. I reckon they should have been promoted by now, and then they started to turn Feng Luan upside down. Why? Fang Fan is so comfortable. This beautiful blessing, one after another. Bai Piao muttered, and couldn't help sighing. In a few words, there is still a sense of extreme. Can this not be jealous? The blessing of Chiron is not something everyone can enjoy. Holding one inside, and 3 others standing outside waiting anxiously. Bai Piao eats dog food every day, and eats dog food to eat all he can. Don't talk nonsense. My husband is not this kind of person. Xiao Liulai lost her confidence as she spoke. If you want to talk about other things, Xiao Liulai is still a little confident, but if you talk about her husband's style. Forward. So what kind of style do you still not count in your heart? That has always been a bohemian state. What can be done now seems to be very clear, right? Little Liulai gritted her teeth and couldn't help stamping her feet. Hateful. You lie drunk on the lap of a beauty inside, let us stand guard for you outside. Hateful. 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 Xiao Liulai gritted her teeth secretly in her heart, her mentality was surging to the extreme. Needless to say anything else for the time being, this time the feeling is in place, and the mind directly follows the gallop. Very real, very clear. Isn't that what happened? Not far from the main hall, Cao Teng, the lord of the bright god city, and others gathered together. Brother, have you seen that? That Xiahe Xiaotian has been following Shui Wanren all this time. Hey, I think he wants to devote himself to Guangming Academy. You can no longer reuse this person. Caog, the inspector of the city guards, was upset at the moment, so he couldn't help but continue to make complaints from the sidelines. The more you talk, the more resentment you feel in your heart. He wants revenge now. But relying on his own words, he definitely can't take revenge, so he can only pin his hopes on the Lord City Lord in front of him. The more you think, the more you think. How? Do you mean to remove his leadership position? Withdraw him? Who will be the leader? You. The city lord Cao Teng glanced at Caog, his expression even more indifferent. I'm not bad either. As long as the clan brother needs it, Caog, will go through fire and water. Can't you feel my Caog's loyalty to the clan brother? Caog, the inspector of the city guards, had his eyes lit up. This is okay, this Bashi, in this case he wants to take off. Such a feeling, very comfortable. The more I think about it, the more my thoughts surge. Hee. Waste. If you can really control the city guards, you won't be shouting in front of me after Xia Xiaotian pinches an arm. At present, the city guards can only be controlled by Xia Xiaotian. The battle with the Protoss is imminent, and the coach is changed. Do you want to court death? The sense of accomplishment is only in his hands can the army exert its due combat power. As for the others, I'm worried. It's not necessary. I will talk about other things after the war. As for the Guangming Academy, it really takes some time to make fun of it. Otherwise, I don't know what it will evolve into in the future. The girl who is about to break into the high-ranking Saint realm seems to be Shui Wanren's niece. They have good luck in Guangming Academy. The city lord Cao Teng murmured to himself, his eyes kept rolling, and he didn't know what was going on in his heart. Random thinking, random thoughts, are bursting out in an all-round way. The feeling here is that it has slowly gained some flavor. Interesting, really interesting. Slowly follow the show, and the wonderfulness of it is fully revealed. Father. So let me tell you, go and tell that Shui Wanren to let him marry his niece to me. In this way, when that woman becomes your daughter-in-law, won't she become the support of my Cao family in the future? The higher her talent, the better for our family. Young city lord Cao Man licked his lips and said expectantly. The city lord Cao Teng glanced at his son numbly, and then said leisurely. Do you think you deserve it? About 10 minutes later, Fang Fan returned slowly with Chu Sisi. At this moment Fang Fan was supporting Chu Sisi. Sisi, how are you? Are you feeling unwell? Is the promotion going well? Shui Wanren hurriedly stepped forward and said caringly. Just, that's okay. It's nothing. Uncle, don't worry. I have successfully promoted, don't worry. Chu Sisi seemed a little weak. Is it? How come there are so many scars on your neck? Blue and purple. What's going on? You suffered a lot when you were promoted. Tai Shiji stepped forward, and immediately said with concern. It's okay for him to arrange this, but after saying this, the expressions of everyone in the audience changed accordingly. For it. What I said, is invisibly amazing. This time, what to say and what to do, there is always a charter. To speak out so straightforwardly, isn't this just making trouble? You can shut up. You are everywhere. Shui Wanren glared at Tai Shiji, implying that he should stop talking. Uncle Ji was stunned. I'm concerned about what happened to my apprentice daughter-in-law. It's true that Sisi is your niece, but she's also my apprentice-in-law. As a master, I don't have the right. Grand Uncle Ji held his head high, with a proud face. Then he began to worry about Chu Sisi's neck being bruised and purple. Why? Did I say that? You still don't believe it? I knew Fang Fan must be enjoying it. I know Fang Fan better than I know myself. Look, the evidence is there. Good guy, the strawberries are all planted, this is the rhythm of taking off. I'm envious of others. Bai Piao sighed with a numb face. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3588. Bai Piao is a shit stirrer. If he hadn't said it so directly, in fact, everyone would have ended up exchanging greetings. It's not clear to everyone what the situation is. I understand everything. But it seems a bit difficult for you to talk so much in a jerk. All the mysteries of this are in place. What should be said should not be said, everything becomes clear. Growing strawberries. Good guy. Everyone focused their eyes on Chu Sisi's neck. From time to time, he would spy on Fang Fan. My husband also has, and marks on his neck. Really? Ah. This, is exactly as expected. How so? Xiao Liulai knew how to look around, and while talking, the sigh on her face couldn't help but increased. At this moment, his face was numb and he didn't know what to say. It's very erratic. The sense of bells and whistles is being strengthened in an all-round way. The many feelings deep in my heart gradually came into place. How can I say this? It's amazing. Ah! Feed the dog with sincerity. When Xiao Liulai thought that she was worrying so much outside, while her husband was messing around with other women inside. Suddenly, my heart felt sour. Husband, cousin. You. Concubine Xiang couldn't help clenching her teeth. It seems like it would be difficult for any woman, right? The true meaning is expressed slowly, and those who understand it will understand it naturally. Cough. It's just because I accidentally got injured while practicing. Everyone don't need to care. Yes. It's a burn. Ceci's promotion this time is a bit special. And then got burned. That's probably what happened. Fang Fan nodded. Anyway, no matter what he talked about, he always talked about it. How embarrassing it would be if you didn't say anything. This brain is about to explode. The more I think about it, the more thoughts I have in my mind. Everyone looked at each other, with an expression that I believed in your ghost. Everyone has been here, can't you see this little scene? It didn't matter to Fang Fan, anyway, he had always been thick-skinned, so he didn't need to care about anything, he just stuck his neck like this. But obviously, when it came to Chu Ceci, she seemed a little embarrassed. At this moment, both hands were placed in front of him and kept scratching, and his eyes kept flickering. Anyway, it looks like a guilty conscience now. Everyone. Continue to drink and eat meat. It can be regarded as a celebration of Ceci's successful promotion. After the celebration is over, aren't you still in a hurry to march? Fang Fan shrugged, then said calmly. When things have come to this point, just keep calm. As for the rest, there is no need to pay too much attention to them. Everyone raise your glasses. The crisis is over. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, sighed, children and grandchildren have their own blessings. As an elder, he will not interfere too much. His son-in-law is absolutely excellent in every respect. But in some respects it is indeed a bit crazy. The more I think about it now, the more my head hurts. For the rest, be silent. One is his future son-in-law, and the other is his niece. In front of so many people, you can't really embarrass them, can you? In all respects, it's good to be steady. For the rest, don't care. Each raised their glasses, and the smiles on their faces increased. But how much of this smile is true and how much is false is unknown. An hour later, fully armed, the whole army set off. The total strength has reached 800,000. Originally, the guards of the Guangming God City brought by Commander Ziahe had 500,000 troops. Later, this Cao Teng brought another 300,000 over. Almost the entire Bright God City has been emptied. That's right, now that Cao Teng has personally led his troops to set off, obviously the Pope has issued a strict order. There are indeed many things involved in this. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, thinking to himself, the light in his eyes increased. At this moment, he nodded silently, his expression and posture changed completely, and he seemed quite looking forward to it. Where there is battle, there is opportunity. When you arrive at Yuanqi Divine City, you must not be reckless. It's time to obey my orders. This time the major forces are acting together, it must be extremely chaotic. I don't know how many elites this Protoss has gathered under Yuanqi Divine City. And what should the Protoss city next to Yuanqi God City look like? These are all unknown. Why? All this in front of me seems extraordinarily false. I don't know how good or bad this trip will be. Shui Wanren, deputy head of Guangming Academy, sighed. His brows were furrowed at this moment, and he couldn't help but have more thoughts in his heart. Things have come to this point, we can only take one step at a time. Let's see what happens in the future. Vice Palace Master Shui, wait for me. Not far away, Ji Lan, the Dean of Tianwu Academy and the Lord of Shencheng City of the 7th Academy, also strode forward. His face was a little pale, obviously his body has not recovered yet. Seeing Ji Yan's fully armed appearance, Shui Wanfu frowned. Principal Ji Lan also wants to go out with the army. This Shencheng of the 7 courtyards has just suffered a major blow, and now it is mainly rest and recuperation. It's enough for us to go to the Yuanqi God City. Shui Wanren opened his mouth and said immediately. From Shui Wanren's point of view, this is also a good thing. Although the God City of the 7 courts survived in the end, it was not lightly attacked by the Protoss army this time. In this case, it is still very necessary to be steady. Focus on recuperation. Hey! What is there to recuperate? Cultivators of my generation, if we can't even stand this setback, why should we practice? This time, the God City of the 7th Academy is in trouble, thanks to the help of everyone from the Bright God City and the Bright Academy. The Yuanqi God City, our 7th Academy God City, can't pretend to be stupid. In this sacred territory, we can only survive better if we cooperate and support each other. In the battle against the Protoss, we have always been on the united front. So, there is no need to say anything else. I, Ji Lan, don't have much power, so I can only dispatch these 30,000 horses, but I still use my confidence to fight to the end. Ji Lan patted his chest, and while talking, the arrogance on his face was beyond words. Fang Fan silently nodded. This Dean Ji Lan is a real man. This time rushing to help the Yuanqi God City, life and death are uncertain. Now no one dares to predict the strength and weakness of the Protoss. It's all a gamble this time. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 3589. It can only be said that if you want to continue to enjoy this high-speed training mode in the territory of the gods, you must pay some price, which is inevitable. There should always be a charter for how to make decisions in the future. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, thinking to himself. The radiance in his eyes grew more and more. It is quite interesting to think comprehensively and develop comprehensively. During the march, it was obvious that the team was divided into 3 parts. Part of it is the city lord Cao Teng and his direct descendants. The other part is the tens of thousands of people brought by Guangming Academy and Dean Ji Lan. The other part is the people led by Xiaoho Xiaotian, the commander of the Bright God City. Although Xiaoho Xiaotian still has to accept the orders of the city lord Cao Teng, it is obvious that there is a gap between them. Xiaoho Xiaotian was at least able to maintain a neutral position between Guangming Academy and the city lord Cao Teng. Fang Fan is not lonely on the road. Surrounded by a group of beauties, being in a flying battleship seems quite pleasant. This time, after feeling it a little bit, the smiles on his face immediately increased. Beautiful. And reveals a unique sense of happiness. Fang Fan was lying in Xiangfei's arms, with his head resting on Xiangfei's beautiful legs, his eyes narrowed slightly, and Xiao Liulai at the side would bring some grapes and other fruit snacks to feed from time to time. Chu Sisi put Fang Fan's legs on her own, and kneaded slightly. On the other end, Lu Jiyi put her hands on Fang Fan's temples and kneaded them gently, as if she was relying on this method to relieve Fang Fan's pain. All in all, everything goes without saying. Slowly, the whole body and mind are silent. Yo! Our young master Fang Fan really enjoys it. Is this going out to fight, or to travel? Why are you so big-hearted? Murong Yu, the first-level tutor of Guangming Academy, stepped forward. Seeing Fang Fan like this, he was speechless. This guy, that's what he did. Yu is here. Come here, come into my arms. Fang Fan stretched out his request, and said with a wild expression on his face. In the private space of this flying battleship, you can relax a little. You guy, can you still be a little serious? Little bastard. Murong Yu gritted his teeth and couldn't help hitting Fang Fan's chest with his fist. Although he was making complaints, Murong Yu's body was quite honest. He silently leaned into Fang Fan's arms, and even arched subconsciously. It is precisely because we are about to go to the battlefield, and then we will be busy and have no time, so it is even more important to relax and enjoy at this time. Otherwise, on the battlefield, there will only be endless fatigue. It won't be interesting then. It's fine if you take it easy. Fang Fan stretched, then licked his lips, then looked at Murong Yu's red lips, and silently kissed them. To be happy in life is to be happy, don't let the golden cup be empty to the moon. On the side of the ring of beauties, good wine is singing. What is there to be dissatisfied with such a life? Fang Fan even thought that when the merits and virtues are completed in the future, he might as well take everyone to settle in the small world of Shushan Pavilion. It's a kind of happiness to be unrestrained every day. Why? Do you really don't know or pretend you don't know? Didn't you realize at the time that the city lord and his son are hostile to you? And that CAOG? They all have bad intentions. Why don't you understand at all? Really are. What do you think in your heart? Hey, you don't even know how nervous you are. Murong Yu glared at Fang Fan, and while talking, couldn't help complaining. She just thinks it's too dangerous. If you are not careful, you will be completely cold on the spot. I can't get into their stomachs and act as their roundworms. Who knows what they are thinking? There is always a solution to a problem. These are nothing. If you don't come to provoke me, it's fine, but if you have to come to die, then there is no other way, we can only send them to the west. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, and there was a hint of hostility in them. The future will be judged in the future. The whirlwind of death is gathering in an all-round way. The crazy rhythm makes it difficult to adapt for a while. What should come, will always come. Along the way, it is inevitable to encounter some sporadic Protoss stragglers, but they are all harmless, and they were killed easily. Fang Fan let out a foul breath, thinking to himself, then subconsciously rubbed his head in Xiang Fei's arms. After thinking so much, there is a hammer with. It's better to arrive at Yuanqi Shencheng earlier, and then start a bloody battle. Now Fang Fan couldn't wait any longer. At the same time, in another flying battleship. Brother, this is an excellent opportunity. When you arrive at Yuanqi Shencheng, you order them to attack directly in the name of the city lord, or let them block it directly. In this case, they will not be able to escape. In this way, you can not only avenge the young city lord's severed arm, but also get rid of a big enemy for you to control the City of Light. Brother. Don't move Xia Xiaotian now, that's because he is still useful and needs to lead the city guards to resist the Protoss. But we don't need to be too polite to those people from Guangming Academy. Especially that Fang Fan, who dared to take action against Xiao Cheng before. This matter should not be forgiven lightly. Otherwise, if everyone will follow suit in the future, wouldn't there be a big mess? Brother. Be sure to continue to suffer from the chaos. You must know this truth better than me. Brother. CAOG, the inspector of the city guards, continued earnestly. Now there is only one thought in his heart, and that is revenge. As for the other things that are there or not, he doesn't care, and he doesn't care anymore. Xia Xiaoshan's foundation is too deep, so it's fine if he can't move for a while. But Fang Fan from Guangming Academy must die. he was beaten several times, all because of being with this bastard. The seeds of hatred have already been planted in the heart, and it is not so easy to dig them out again. After Caog finished speaking, young city lord Cao Man also nodded excitedly. At the same time, he is more and more pleasing to the eyes of this uncle. All these words spoke to his heart. He and Fang Fan have a sworn feud. Kill Fang Fan. Then take away the many beauties around him. Then Cao Man will be satisfied. This feeling gathered in my heart, and my body and mind trembled suddenly. Not only can revenge, but also enjoy. Is there such a good thing? There is such a good thing, of course you can't let it go. Of course, it would definitely not work on his own strength, so he still needed to rely on himself, the city lord's father. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shuyu. Chapter 3590. The city lord, Cao Tang, has always been lukewarm. It seems that there is no feeling in this heart. The whole person froze in place, seemingly quite numb. I don't even know what's on my mind. Father, father. It's fine if you don't take revenge on your son. I don't blame you. You naturally have your own thoughts in your heart. I understand everything. But don't you think this Guangming Academy should be suppressed? If this goes on like this, in the future, this Guangming God City will become a subsidiary city of his Guangming Academy. Daddy. 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 Didn't you want me to get married a long time ago? Do you want me to give birth to a grandson for you, and you want to continue the incense of my Cao family? I don't like those rouge vulgar fans, I can even say I hate them. But the women around Fang Fan are all my son's favorite. And everyone's talent is so high. As long as they are all captured and made my wives, I can definitely. Dad, Dad, Dad. The young city lord Cao Man took a deep breath, and while talking, he nodded his head quickly, the paranoia in his eyes seemed very real. Now this nonsense is all about the continuation of the Cao family's incense. Cao Teng was indeed indifferent at first, but he couldn't help frowning when he heard this. Immediately. Snapped. The loud slap hit Cao Man directly. How did I, Cao Teng, give birth to you bastard? Can't you have something else in your heart? Why do you always miss other people's women? Do you want others to abuse you as a Cao thief? Shameless. Nasty. What? Cao Ten yelled loudly, and now the more he talked, the more ugly his face became, and the feeling of boredom in his heart was rising. If you talk about something else, I can be happier. It's useless to talk about this all day. Father. You hit me again. Hit. Hit. Beat to death. Snort. Do you really think I don't know what's on your mind? Actually, you also want to deal with Guangming Academy, you want to deal with Shui Wanren and that Fang Fan, but you dare not. Because you are afraid of Shui Wanren and feel terrified of him. Hee. At first, I didn't want to make it clear, but you are really too cowardly. I can't take it anymore. The city lord of the mighty Guangming God City is really a coward. If I'm as useless as you, to be honest, I might as well just die. It's always been like this, it means a hammer. Cao Man vented all the dissatisfaction in his heart at once. The more I talked, the more excited I became, and the more I talked, the more embarrassing I became. Anyway, everything is cleared up. I have to say, this guy still has a little courage. For a while, the city lord Cao Teng was not calm anymore. Be despised by your own son? Damn, this is unbearable. The most important thing is, this is really a slap in the face, okay. This face was slapped, and the pain was unbearable. The resentment and anger in his heart welled up in his heart, and the sound of his breathing suddenly became rapid. Damn it! Say that labor and management are afraid of Shui Wanren? I'm really a little scared. But so what? Is it your turn to put eye drops in front of me, a bastard like you? If it wasn't for this bastard being his own son, he would have crushed this head directly. Roll. Cao Teng kicked, at least part of his anger was reduced. This matter is not as simple as you think. After all, they are from Guangming Academy. And the Guangming Academy is also under the command of the Temple of the Alliance of Light. Everyone is in the same system. If they really go crazy, we may not be able to withstand it. Slowly figure it out. The city lord Cao Teng shook his head, then said silently. At this moment, there is more regret in my heart. Picture it slowly. Picture? Where to go to the picture? Father. You have such a good relationship with His Majesty the Pope. Even if they are killed, can His Majesty still kill you? What's there to worry about? Cao man curled his lips, with a look of disapproval. Anyway, he just felt that his father had no courage and was already very close to a waste. If he had come to be the lord of the city, he would have swept the world and shocked the world long ago. It's a pity that the city owner is not him. Madness. Stupid. Her Majesty the Pope. Ah. He values me just because I'm obedient and useful. If I really did something that violated the rules, I'm afraid he will take me to the knife immediately, and then explain to the entire Temple of the Light Alliance. And even if you pass the test under the Pope's crown, so what? Is Guangming Academy really a persimmon? Although the master of the Guangming Academy hasn't shown up for a long time, no one can be sure if he died. That palace master, even the Pope has to give him 3 points. If that one comes out, it's all over, it's over. Some things can only be done in secret. On the bright side, put away all these so-called moves for me, don't mess with them. A cold snort came, the city lord Cao Teng was already beating this useless son. What? Speaking of it, isn't it still impossible to do it? It doesn't mean anything. If I had known this, I wouldn't have come here. What are you doing here? Have you been getting angry? When the mumbling sound came, Cao man said with a dissatisfied face. Young city master, the city master has already pointed out the direction for us. Hey, the city lord is wise. On the surface, everyone treats each other with respect. But secretly, it's different. Tisk. It's too easy to find some secret way of revenge on the battlefield. After all, the city lord is the commander of this army. Caog, the inspector of the city guards, rubbed his hands, and then said excitedly. From his point of view, I feel that I have found the right direction. As long as you grasp it well, the future will definitely not be bad. Maybe it can take off directly. Inexplicably, there was some excitement in my heart. Those beauties, can they be mine? Why? Now when I think of those beauties making love in the arms of that bastard Fang Fan, I feel uncomfortable. Hurry up. Hurry up and kill this Fang Fan, so I can take over. Why is this bastard so lucky? There are so many beautiful beauties around him, why don't I have any around me? Rouge vulgar fans. All are Rouge vulgar fans. Cao man muttered, his eyes gradually brightened.